Hey guys, welcome back to Rad Old Rat, my YouTube channel dedicated to all things skateboarding. This is a very special episode for me and I'm so stoked that you're here. If you're new to the channel, the way it normally works is that we'll focus on an individual skater. We'll talk about that skater's career, grip their reissued board, skate it, give a bit of a review. That's not the case in this particular video, because while this should be a video about Omar Hassan, it's not. It's going to be all about me. This is not about Omar turning pro in 1990 for blockhead skateboards at the young age of 16. This has nothing to do with this brilliant graphic by Ron Cameron, and definitely nothing to do with his amazing part in Splendid Eye Torture. This is about me and my first trip to a real skate shop to pick up my very first brand new pro model board. I was 11 years old. This was my first trip to a real skate shop. The first time I ever saw a real mini ramp in real life as we pulled into the parking lot. First time I saw a wall of boards without any trucks and wheels on them. Wheels screaming out of a display case with these amazing graphics on them. Stickers everywhere. Racks of clothing with logos on them that I recognized from the magazines. Just completely surreal yet entirely familiar all at once. It was the fall of 1990 and me and my pops rolled into my local hometown shop, Stud Skates. The owner was rocking a black bandana and a torn up Suicidal Tendencies shirt. There must have been 30 boards on the wall and I made him take down every single one and analyzed it very carefully. Keep in mind this is 1990, so a lot of 80s shapes are still kicking around on the walls, but some of the newer 90s shapes with a bit more of a nose started coming in. Knowing this board was probably going to last me a couple of years, I was very careful. So while graphics were really important, shape was king. Lucky for me, I found the perfect combo in Omar Hassan's debut pro model. I remember my dad patiently waiting out in the car for me until I was finally ready. I went and got him, brought him back in, we made the purchase. Got home, my dad took the board, threw it in the closet, and saved it till Christmas. 3 months I waited before finally getting on this thing. I shoveled the driveway Christmas morning and waited for it to dry before going out there and skating for a good 3 or 4 hours. I should be clear, this wasn't the first pro board I got, but it was the first brand new pro board that I ever had. This was the first board that I chose. Up until then I was riding hand-me-downs from around the neighborhood and I was very lucky to be able to do so, but this was the first time I got to choose a board that was right for me. So like I mentioned, my first trip to a skate shop and a lot of other firsts happened on this board. I did my first stairs on this board, my first gap, my first handrail. I even rode away from a girl after getting kissed for the first time on this board. Fast, too. Considering how important this board is to me, I decided to pick up two. One to rock, one to stock. The wood grain here is the one that I originally had, so that's going to go on the wall, and we're going to go ahead and skate the blue. It is a limited print, and we ended up with 85 out of 135 and 130 out of 135. Really got down to the wire there. I wanted this setup to be as close to my original as possible, so I secured a few really important pieces, and we're going to go into more detail about that when I'm putting it together. Alright, now let's get into the specs of this board. We're looking at 32 inches in length, and at its widest, 10 inches. We got a nose at 5.5 inches, and then a tail at just over 6.5. A wheelbase of 14.5. This beautiful Ron Cameron graphic screen printed by Damon Mills. Each top has been laser burned, screen printed, and hand numbered by David B. With that out of the way, I'm super excited to make this dream a reality. Time to grip this baby up and hit them streets. Let's go! Okay, so we're going to start off with the checkered tape and the Eat Shit bumper sticker. I love this combo. It's kind of like framing a picture almost. I just mark off where I want everything to come together and we go from there. And there's no messing around when it comes to sticker theme this time. This is pure Omar and blockhead from top to bottom. We got the Black Label Omar Ripper, classic blockhead logo, the blockhead himself, and then of course the magic carpet graphic. Alright, now we're going to keep it simple and just fill up what's left with some black tape. Alright, once we get it all down with our trusty mob roller, we're going to go ahead and cut some relief around the edges before filing and sanding. When it comes to filing, I like to use an awl instead of a traditional file. It lets me get right down to the wood and then I can just peel up what's left without using a blade. And then we'll just take those scraps and use them to sand around the edges. I like to give the top a once over too. So before installing the rails and setting the board up, I like to slap down a few stickers. For the rails, we're using some NOS Schmidt sticks from the early 80s. I'm almost 100% positive that this is what I had on my board at the time. Okay, so we got the OJ2 combo reissues here. They're a little chewier than I expected. They got a little more squeeze to them than I remember. Hopefully they'll slide. We'll have to wait and see. I love Bones hard bushings. I've tried a lot of different bushings, but I find these are great right out of the box. You don't have to break them in. I skate my truck super tight, so I need a nice hard bushing to avoid any overhang or snapping a kingpin. These are Stage 10 independent, size 169. I actually had them on display on the shelf for a long time because they have the old logo, but we're going to go ahead and use them. Alright, now we're going to pull it all together with the Bronson Raw bearings. I haven't tried these yet, but I hear really good things, so I'm stoked to get rolling. So today we're going with independent 1 1/4 inch hardware and a 1/4 inch set of White Vision Psycho Skate risers. This will put me a little higher off the ground than I'm used to, but it shouldn't be a problem. Alright guys, as usual, that was a ton of fun. I'm so stoked I got to ride this board again. I never thought that would ever happen, so just, you know, another dream come true. So this might be my last video like this for a while. It is starting to get into the rain and cold season here in Vancouver. As it is, it was really hard getting a session going this morning with the cold. I really just couldn't get my body into it, so I'll probably still grip up some boards. I just don't know if I'll be able to get any skating done. Let me know if that's cool with you guys. I'll do whatever you say. Happy birthday, Omar. Thank you so much for being such a rad dude. Thank you, Blockhead, for bringing this back into my life. And I got another giveaway video coming up, so stay tuned for that. I hope you like stickers. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, give me a comment, let me know what you want to see over the winter, and share this video around so we can reach more rad skaters just like you. Until next time, stay rad.